Boom. Are we on?
We are on.
Oh my gosh.
We are
amazing.
starting
We arrived.
the thing.
Having our couch convos.
We are.
Yes.
So has it been like a challenging month or what?
Woo!
It's been a challenging time for everyone.
Oh, so it wasn't just me.
No, well, you also just busted your eardrum.
Perfect. I
twice.
did this morning,
Yeah.
today, an hour ago.
And how did you do that, Em? Was it against the advice of a professional?
I think it
Well,
was.
I mean, yes, and this is like trying to tell someone to not breathe. I swear, I am such a mermaid, and we are footsteps from
Mermaid
the.
vibes.
I'm such
Just
a
owning it,
mermaid.
just calling myself a mermaid like that.
I am a mermaid.
No, I just am obsessed with the water, and we are in the most beautiful house in Byron Bay. It's footsteps from the beach, and I've been here for 5 weeks, and I have not put my head under the water. And today just felt like the day.
Yeah, especially before
was
we
not the
do
day.
audio and
I
podcasts.
know.
It's definitely the day.
And I
A
had
week before you fly out, definitely the day.
It's a day for an emergency home trip.
It was a day for a cute, tall, funny doctor, though.
Oh, why am I just hearing about
I married
this?
one, so
Oh, well,
yeah. So
there's always
you know,
a catch.
I have morals, people.
That's
Sometimes.
good. That's sometimes.
In the realm of protecting people's
But
relationships.
other than your like perforated eardrum,
Other than that, yeah.
what's been going on? What are the challenges?
Well, who wants to spark up? I
Well-
feel like there's been lots of things going on with lots of different domains.
There has, yeah. I feel like for me, it's been like relationship heavy.
Yeah.
You know, just feeling like a lot of, my husband and I are trying for a second baby, and it's like, I feel like this little baby spirit is in the ethers going, hold on, we've got some work to do. We got to clean up shop
Yeah.
before this happens. And all of our old stuff came to the surface, lots of trust and safety things. And I don't know, it's just been interesting. Like I felt so much resistance to leaning into it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, hi, we're on tour with workshops
Oh my
that
gosh.
we're leading every single weekend. Like,
Yeah.
can we wait another time
In
to
the middle
handle
of
all
creating
this?
courses.
In the middle of creating and launching multiple courses,
Yeah.
just all the things. I'm like, is this really the time that we want to?
Yeah, to
Handle
go there.
this.
And did you find that it was stuff that you're like, I've already been through this. We've already done this.
Oh, yes.
So now we're going next level with this.
here we
So
are
this-
again?
Yeah.
It's like legit, like, okay, I thought we handled and healed, but apparently not. And this is like the 10th degree level of handling all of this. So it's been good. Like, I feel like, you know, Em's been around for a lot of it. And I feel like it's been challenging to so many extents, but also really enlightening for me to recognize, okay, like, where do my boundaries lie? What needs do I have? Where do I get to be really even more clear on what gets to happen moving forward with myself and with him?
I love that. And I love that it's about boundaries because I had similar experience in a struggle that emerged for me was with my physical health. And I spent a month working from bed this year.
Wow.
Because I burned myself out again.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've done this before. I know
again, where's
better.
that?
Here I am again.
Yeah.
But the similar lesson was, okay, for me to go next level, I need to get so fierce on my boundaries energetically, what I'm saying yes and no to.
Oh, yeah.
That's
No is my favorite word
It
now.
should be everyone's favorite.
It has changed everything for me.
Love it. We love a no.
Yes.
I love a solid no.
Yeah.
A no without an excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just no, period.
No.
That's
It's a
challenging
full
for a lot of
sentence.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's challenging
know.
for a lot of people.
Thank you, but no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what I find too? A lot of people, especially women who identify as people pleasers,
Yeah.
they have a really hard time saying no, and that used to be me. But I had to reframe it as, I'm not a no to you specifically, I'm a no to your request out of my commitment to myself.
I love that.
And that like instantly like relieves the other person where they're like, not taking it personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it lets them know like I'm committed to myself or my work or my relationship or my child right now.
Yes.
And I find it develops like higher respect from other people.
Definitely.
Like, oh damn. Okay, you're committed to I should probably be committed
Yeah,
to
it's we don't know how to do that for ourselves often. So
Yeah.
when you see people with strong boundaries that actually respect their time and their energy and their space, and because it's also a self-awareness thing. 'Cause
It
it's
is,
like
yeah.
I've become more self-aware, and I'm sure you guys have as well, of what you need in order to function properly, to not have to work from bed, to be able to run a
Yeah.
business, to feel happy, to actually also show up to those commitments and be present. Because I know I would every time I say yes to something where I ultimately mean no. You may as well just say no because you show up as a no anyway. Like you're there, but you're like
100%.
everything
That
about
is so
me
true.
is like I don't want to be here. Why did I even do it? And then it's like
And you're like, I'm
if you're
fine.
not adding any value
Yeah.
to anyone, you may as well just not be there.
Inside you're dying.
Yeah.
So like, how do I
when
make
do
up
I
an
leave?
excuse
Yeah.
to get out of this? And
Yeah.
then like we berate ourselves because we're flaky or we've told a lie to someone that we
Yeah.
love because we should have said no in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's been a really good lesson for me to learn off
It's
the back
huge.
of a second burnout.
Yeah,
Yes,
so okay,
ugh.
so burnout, this is a huge conversation.
Big one.
I find that right now, especially obviously like we're all kind of in the business world and like
Yeah.
coaching space, there's so many women in this world that are serving other people that are at the edge or brink of burnout or on the other side of burnout and on their way to a second or third or fourth.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've experienced burnout, like legit, my adrenals were flatlined at one point. Hormones were completely flatlined as well. Knowing that you've been through this now twice, what are you putting in place to support in avoiding burnout and really stepping into your power?
Yeah, so true. Because you think you've done it once, I'll never do it again.
Exactly.
And that was the most confronting thing. It's like, but I know better than this.
Yes.
So for me now, space is my favorite thing
We're like
in the world.
Speak my language. That's
Yeah.
my favorite word.
It's my favorite word.
Spaciousness.
Spaciousness. And followed closely by ease.
Yes.
If it does not feel easy and effortless, it is a no.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have to be hard.
Yes.
And I feel like we've been conditioned to believe like this hustle, work for it, you know?
yeah.
And then you're fueled by adrenaline.
Totally.
And what actually tipped me over the edge was exercise. Because I'd finally gotten back into a healthy relationship with my physical, and so I joined F45.
Okay.
And I loved it. And
That's
became
gym.
that's it's high
Circuit
intensity
training.
circuit training. So like you
The American
sweat.
over here.
Everyone
needs
in
some
Australia.
Yeah, it's like, So, and I loved it, and I was training from a really solid place. Like, it was a love for what it was doing for me, but I became so obsessed. I was training 6 days a week on top of business, social, all the things. And that's what tipped me over. So sometimes it's even the things that you love that you have to take a step back and go, hang on a second, there's still no space.
Often.
And talk about your burnout, because you
Oh
had
my
a burnout.
gosh. Yeah, 2 of them in the same year, and it was like, for me, it was just overcommitting to all the things, because coming from, again, this context of like proving and creating and like needing to just continuously put more on my plate for me to feel like I was working hard enough and showing up enough and living into my potential enough and like doing all the things, and also just, I guess, not understanding the actual capacity. And it was creating my TED Talk, planning a launch, and then planning like 4 Australian events, which for me was international.
Makes me overwhelmed just
I
feeling
know.
that. Like planning my TED Talk alone.
That alone. Yeah, exactly. And coming off the back of like 6 months of non-stop travel and working, and already that being burnt, like low-level burning out, like starting to happen without really knowing. And it was just, I didn't want to get out of bed. I felt like I was on the brink of depression. I was just so unmotivated. Everything felt so hard. And it was honestly, my brother said to me, he said, you're not listening. Like, life is trying to tell you something. The way you're doing it is not working. And it was such a powerful statement. And I was like, yeah, fuck, this is true. Like, this is not, and I think we've become, again, because it's like hustle mentality, we expect ourselves, or we think it's normal that like we should have these burnouts and that this is just how it goes if we want to create something. And it's like, no, do you choose that, you know? And then really stepping out consciously after I kind of fulfilled those commitments, because I also realized I was getting through. It was like, I felt like, and it literally came from a really small journaling. And I was like, I am fucking getting through my whole life. I was like, I've got to get through the TED Talk, get through this event, get through this. And I was like, I'm getting through my life. Like, I'm going to be 50 and being like, just got to get through. And like, like, where's my life, you know? And so now I'm just deeply committed to play, to space, to ease, to like what feels alive. And that doesn't mean like every moment of my life is like the funnest, the most expansive thing, but most of it. Like, and that's so that's the new compass, you know? But it's powerful.
It's so interesting. I love what you touched on too, because I know for me and my burnout, I felt amazing right before the burnout. I was like killing it, on fire, like motivated by the adrenaline and the validation I was getting and the money in my bank account and like all the things, right? Checking off all the things on my to-do list.
Externally being validated for being amazing.
You are Superwoman. You're doing all the things. And it's like, I am, you know, and it's like, I can do more. And I was fueled by it. And by the time I hit burnout, I was so shocked that I was actually in burnout.
Like, what is this humanness?
I was like, wait a second. I felt probably the best I had felt, but it was actually, I was so disconnected from my body.
Oh, that's huge.
That I could not actually feel what was going on because I was so in the running of and the hamster wheel that I couldn't actually catch my body going, hey.
Like, the niggles.
Yeah, like, hey, slow down. Hey, take some time.
I would like some attention.
I was like, time, let me fill it with more shit. Like, I've got a spare hour. Great, what can I get done? Perfect, let me get ahead. And it was literally like, go, 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 go. And I love what your brother said to you, like, you're not listening.
Right.
I was not listening.
Yeah.
I was not taking the cues from my world. And it took literally like just doing all these health tests that I did because P and I were trying to get pregnant with our first child.
Yeah.
And we're like, let's just do blood tests and all the things and make sure we're good. And
Just to validate that we're great.
Yeah, just so
because
you know,
feel
we
good.
already know we are.
Yeah.
Just to confirm.
but our health practitioner was like,
What's happening here?
she's like, just looking at your chart, like you should be bedridden
Wow.
and completely like flat out in full depression. She's like, your levels are like near zero. She's like, and I'm like,
I wish
feel
I got my
amazing.
bloods done when I was in that.
I legit was like, I feel better than I've ever felt. And I think this is kind of
It's crazy.
the false thing that we in society, we kind of lean on. It's like, well, I feel great. And like, I feel motivated and I'm like pushing and doing and it feels good.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I think, don't even know that they're on the brink of burnout.
So how did you then how did that start to impact you? Because if you felt so amazing, then what pivoted? When did you actually, because people might think, well, if you felt amazing and you just wanted to keep going, then why did you stop doing that?
So, it's like the example, and let me know if this has happened to you.
Yeah.
You go, and then when you finally stop and take a break, you get sick.
Yeah, totally.
Both times.
Right.
Both times I burned out. I felt amazing beforehand, and then you get told you're not okay, and you're like, I'm actually not.
Yeah.
You're right.
You gave me permission to actually.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and legit, I literally took like 2 days off, and like everything caught up finally. My body was like, okay, now that you've slowed down, whoosh.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, this isn't good.
Yeah.
And I felt just my systems crashing. I felt so tired. I felt emotionally drained. Like I felt critical of everything and everyone in my life. And just felt like at the brink and the edge of my fuse.
Yes.
You know, it's like I have no more line on my fuse right now.
Yes.
I will explode
Stay
on all of this.
away from
Get
it.
away.
If you know what's good for you.
Yeah.
And I was so serious, and there was no playfulness, and there was no joy, and it's like,
And then
it's
everything
all
becomes
signal.
hard.
Yes.
Life becomes hard. You begin to resent friendships that light you up because it's
yeah.
like, and it's all on you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But this is why so many people get sick when they finally go on holiday.
Right.
And they berate their body. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
You've finally given yourself the space
Yes.
to feel into what's been bubbling there the whole time, but it's
Catch
been
up.
too noisy externally.
Yep.
We've been distracted.
Yes.
And this goes back to what we started on with like things coming up
Yeah.
and like all of like the stuff. Whenever it's hard in life, a lot of us go and distract ourselves with work or all the things, family, things to do, shopping, just like busyness.
Yes.
And it's a low level distraction that's keeping us completely separate from what's actually happening in our body. And I don't think it's like the stressors that are to blame, it's how we deal with and process the stress.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, because when you even say stresses, like, what does that even mean? Because because I know for me, for example, a big pivot and a big mentality shift that supported me and still continues to support me to have just way more levity in my life, so essentially staying well away from burnout, is really pivoting in terms of like, the inevitability is, which is why we wanted to have this conversation, right, was to actually show that shit's going to happen all the time. Like,
Always.
it's not going to be it's not like someone who's just coasting along and enjoying, just doesn't have stresses in their life. Like, that's never going to be the difference. We live in a crazy world. We're all connected. We all have these expectations that are continuously put on us and more and higher. So it's always going to come down to, we obviously did our deep dive retreat yesterday, and just the importance of cultivating this internal, right? Like, so it's not the stressor, it's the reaction to the stressor.
Yeah.
So it's all within us in order to how we're going to mix and flow, and then obviously like consciously choose how much extra stuff we put on our plate, because that's a choice too. But it's also like the reactions. We're always going to have stuff that comes up. We're going to have relationship stuff, work stuff, business stuff, life stuff. So it's always going to be how are we going to pivot and move and be with that. That's going to then allow us to bounce back quicker and actually not get beaten down by it.
I love it, and I think that's where boundaries come into
Yes.
play.
Huge.
So I would love to know just from you two, like,
Yeah.
what are your top 2 boundaries that you've put into play that have supported you in this process?
The first thing for me is I get approached a lot by beautiful organizations, brands, and people to collaborate and to work with, and to, can I send you
Stuff.
these gifts, which you never really gift. There's an intention behind it. It's totally
expectation.
fine. There's an expectation. And I would always say yes. And I heard our girl Peter Kelly, who I love.
I love her. Yes.
She was speaking at the event last year that you hosted, Em. And remember when she said that she just lovingly declines every single offer like that? Because in saying yes, you're actually taking on the energy of that product, the energy of the person who's sending it to you. You're just opening yourself to energy, just going yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
And all this stuff that you never really asked for in the first place.
Yeah.
So me saying no and outsourcing my no to my assistant who says no for me has been really amazing.
Yeah.
So much space in my inbox, so much, I don't even need to think because it's just like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That's been a really good boundary.
Yeah, that's great. I'm proud of you for that one.
Thanks, biz coach.
I love that. Real quick, pause.
Yes.
Your hair's in your mic. There we go.
Got it.
Maybe move it down just a little so it doesn't go in.
Are we all good with audio and stuff? Yep.
I just want to just
Yeah,
we
I like
need
it.
to be.
Virgoing that shit.
Virgoing that shit.
I know. I realize my cord is out here too, but I could.
Yeah, that's fine. You won't see the cord.
Okay, cool.
Perfect. So what did you do in terms of your burnout?
For me, one of the biggest things is creating, it's like stability and also like so my environment.
Yeah.
So trying to create a lot more grounding. Like I was traveling a lot, I was always on the move, you know, just here, there, and just sort of doing that. So I'm kind of just, there's a lot more discernment in my yes in terms of if it's going to require that I'm here for a week and then here for another week. I'm just like, it's a no, because it's just, for me, I know that I need to have a little more routine. I need to be in an environment that allows me to have space. Like I'm a stickler for my own space. Like, so I have to, if I'm traveling, like I'm not the kind of person that will just stay on a couch here and stay on a couch there.
Same.
Like I just have to have my, you know, a space that I go back to that's like a sanctuary for me to recharge. Otherwise, I'm just useless with everything. If that's what it's going to take for me to do that, I just won't do that because I won't be able to show up for it. So that one's huge for me.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah, I think one of my big ones, I mean, the no is huge because I used to be like a yes person. And it's like, yes, open up all possibilities.
Yes.
And then I wasn't realizing how much I felt, I guess, responsible to follow up with all the yeses and all the things. It's like, for instance, like you sharing that, I have 2 companies that have sent me things unsolicited. They just sent them my way. They got our business address. And there's like this almost feeling of like, oh, I have to share it.
Yes.
And it's like, even though I never opted into that, and like, it's like, but there's this underlying obligation of like, oh, that thing, I still have to share it. And it's like, but I only share things authentically that I'm using.
Yes.
So I have to use it. Okay, well, where did I put it? And it's like,
and I better thank them for it. And it's taking room. It's just all those little things.
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Also, because I think it's also knowing that when you say yes to something, you are saying no to yourself. So if you're saying yes to this person, you're saying no to your boundary or your thing. So it's not just say yes to this thing, this an infinite amount of yes. It's like you're actually, there's always an opportunity cost.
Always.
So you have to get clear.
For everything.
Get clear as to which one you're going to pay.
And saying no allows yourself bigger opportunities to land because you've created that energetic space. If you're saying yes to all of the little things, and this isn't just in business, it's in all the little social catch-ups or all the little whatever it is, then there are bigger things in the ether that can't drop in because it's almost like that lack mentality. I better say yes to everything.
I don't want to miss anything.
What if they're not there anymore? And so then that affects obviously where you're vibrating and what is you're calling into your ether.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know what, another
for business
thing,
too, for sure.
What's that?
For business
Oh,
as well, you know, just saying yes to
100%.
things that you think that are going to end up somewhere because you're just afraid to leave the space open for what actually really could be meaty that's going to come in.
I love that. And that brings me to what I was going to share is there's this book called Principles by Ray Dalio. It's like this big and like, but it's amazing. He's one of the foremost wealth builders in the world, and he distilled all of his wisdom from life into this one book. And he talks about having principles for your work and your life that you put up against all your decisions. And we did this with our mastermind girls yesterday. It's like, what are your 3 core values of the ideal self that you're stepping into? And literally that has changed so much for me. It's like my 3 core principles or values. Anytime a new opportunity comes in, even a freaking amazing one that I would like froth at before, I'm like, does it align with who I'm stepping into? And if it's a no on even one of them, it's a no.
I love that.
And so that just makes it really easy. That's my barometer, and I do it in my personal life as well. It's like, does it fit this? No. Okay, it's a no. Does it a little bit? Okay, yes. Let's go
there.
Yeah.
And I have to say just quickly, I love that about you. You have such a like truly such an abundant mentality. Like if it doesn't align, it's like, no, there'll be more. It's coming. Like if it doesn't,
And it comes from such a place of surrender and trust. They're the key words in it, right? Because it's like, I trust that this is not for me because it's not fully in alignment.
My body says no, it doesn't feel,
Something else will come. And I've been burned by that a number of times where the opportunity looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like the brand or the whatever it is, it's been on my fucking vision board. Like I've called that shit.
I called you in, woman.
Call it in, and then I sit with it, and it's like intuition is going, oh no, the stomach's dropping, but it's like, no, but I called it in. So I'm saying yes, and every single time. There's an annoying fucking lesson of why I should have listened to intuition over what logical mind is telling me.
You know what just came to mind?
What's that?
Is the client situation with what she just shared. And because we talk about this all the time.
Yes.
You know how when you have a client that you're like intuitively, you're like, I don't know.
Yeah,
and then you
something
say
is off here.
Yeah. Then you say yes out of scarcity. You're like, oh, I want to hit 10 spots on my program or whatever. And you're like, she would be the 10th one. Okay, great.
Yep.
And then you get further down the line, you're like, should have said no.
Yep. Oh, yes.
And I think this is such an important point for anybody, whether you're in business or not, that that discernment between the ego desires and the soul desires. And you spoke to it a bit. It's like my intuition said, even though my ego was like, but wait, this is what I asked for.
Logically, this makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Yes.
And I know you do a lot of intuitive work. How do you guide people to like really find their attunement between the two?
Oh, it's such a good question and something I get asked all the time because people are like, but what's anxiety and fear and what's intuition?
Right.
Yeah. How do I tell?
Decipher, especially when everyone's so disconnected from their bodies.
Well, that's the point, isn't it? So
Yeah.
fear lives up here, right? Our mind, the stories we're telling ourselves, and the logical mindset of why this should work or this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
It's the what ifs. It's all up here. Intuition is all down here.
Yeah.
It's what your stomach is telling you. It's the butterflies. It's the nervous anticipation, but the excitement, the goosebumps, I can't explain it, but fear tries to explain it. So if you find yourself getting caught up in the story or the what if or the pros and cons, you've disconnected from what this is saying.
Got it.
It's gut and it's
Starting
heart.
to make a list, you're already
If you're being a Capricorn or Virgo and you are sitting with your list, guys.
How do you know that we're listening?
So it's so super important that especially if you, if an opportunity lands and you're like, I don't know. It's like, well, you do know, you're just not tuning in.
Yeah.
Trusting it.
All got intuition, right?
Yeah.
So sit with it. There's no rush and just sit. What is my body telling you or telling me? And you can practice this right now. So you can sit and imagine an opportunity you've got coming up in your life and really bringing that to mind. And how does that make your body feel? Does it feel expansive? Does it feel exciting? Does it feel like butterflies? That's your body's yes. That's your intuition, right? And similarly, think about a time.
And then the head goes, oh, but this.
And then,
But what about this?
And that's the no. And that's,
Right.
recognizing that voice will come. It always does.
Yeah.
And
I think that's important, right?
Yes.
It's like knowing that you can still feel that yes and still have this no, because I think there's if it's not a hell yes, it's a no thing. It's kind of leads. Some people can get trapped in thinking like it must just feel completely like a yes for me to move forward, and it's
absolutely
Well,
not.
I will say like the things that are most successful in my life, and I mean successful not just from like financially, but also like I love it and I love what I do, were scary as hell. And my brain was like,
without
how
a
the
doubt.
heck are you going to pull this thing off?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? And my body was like, just go. You'll figure it out. And my brain's like, stop. Don't go. Do not
Warning,
pass go.
danger.
Because our brain and our fear is meant to keep us safe.
Yeah.
So
It's a
anything
great
out
thing.
of our comfort zone, number one, that's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
But number two, it brings up discomfort. So of course fear is going to exist.
Yeah.
It
100%.
always does.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know if you guys agree, but that's something that we run rife with is I've got to get rid of fear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You'll
It's
never
impossible.
be fearless.
Like fearlessness. I'm like, I get annoyed when people say that. It's
Yeah.
like, well, is that really what we're trying to do?
But and is that ever really possible?
Exactly.
Because the
I
truth
think
is,
it is if you're living well within what your comfort zone is.
well, yeah, if you're just safe and
Yeah,
stuck,
which
then,
a lot of people decide to do.
yeah, because they want to be fearless, but like,
Right, yeah.
But is
But
that
the thing,
really
so it's
what
like,
you're...
is that really what we're trying to do here, people?
yeah, like I love fear. Fear to me is an indicator of like my next stretch and
Yes.
feeling like, okay, I'm at the precipice of what used to be my comfort zone and my next evolution. And that's scary. And of course I'm going to feel fear. So that's like an indicator, like, and if my body's a yes, then it's like time to move.
Exactly. And I think that's the point, isn't it? If your body is a yes. Because sometimes fear comes up and then anxiety comes alongside it. And that's a moment to sit with that and go, okay, what's my body telling me here?
Yes.
And it could be that that's a no, but if it's just discomfort, there's a big difference.
Yeah.
Totally.
If there's nervousness, that's reason to tap into that, right? Because it's exciting too.
Yeah.
I think that fear and fulfillment are correlated. Like, so the more fear that you're willing to move through, like you guys all know if you've had like speech or a launch or something that's like anticipated a lot of like, you know, like anxiety, because you can have anxiety and that fear and that like, oh my gosh, because you want to do well and it's something new. And then you do it and you kill it. And then that feeling after, that fulfillment, that excitement, that level of self-confidence, that self-esteem that builds through going through that is so fulfilling, right? So it's like without that, you can't have that.
And that's a key point that I think a lot of people miss. And, you know, in my workshops, people always go, I want to get rid of self-doubt and have confidence. And it's like, they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You develop confidence in the face of self-doubt.
Yes.
So like if I'm trying to go on a scale of 0 to 10, and 10 is there, wherever that is, like, kill the speech, and I can get on stage without fear. And I'm here where I'm like, I've never given a speech before, I don't know what to do. I have to step into that and then get information that I'm safe and it's okay, and maybe I flub up and that's all right too. I learn, so I get better, and I develop confidence because now I know more. And of course, at the precipice of the unknown, you don't have enough information to feel confident.
Right.
So you have to get in the game.
Huge trap for so many people.
Yes.
I see it all the time with business. It was me for so long when I started, like, when I'm fully clear on the idea and when I'm really confident, I'll go.
Yeah.
It's like,
Then I'll move.
oh shit, that's not the way it goes. It's
not the way it goes.
be willing to dive into that mess is the only way to ever build that. And that's a huge lesson for so many of us.
We're fueled by the desire to be in control. And the joke's on us because we're never in control.
Control
So
and
it's like,
certainty.
The drugs of society.
It's so true. And a lot of the time the soul stuff doesn't have an end result. You can't see where it's going. But that's the point. It's leaning into that. And some of the most fulfilling things I'm doing in my life right now, I have no idea what the end game is. A lot of them aren't making money. But they're the most fulfilling things for me at a soul level that I just trust and know that they're going to become these amazing lives of their own.
100%. Totally. And the irony is in this, like, the certainty and this control thing, because this is honestly one of the plagues of our society. Like the reason that so many of us are trapped in so many spaces of our life is this obsession with trying to control and this obsession with needing to know this certainty and this security. And it's understandable that we want that because there's so many things going on in life.
Right.
But this alone is going to kill so many, like, it kills so many dreams. Because the reality is, even if you think you know where it's going to go, you don't fucking know.
You know what I think about?
Let that, like, just free you, because you don't even know. Even if you think you know, you don't. So if you definitely don't know, then perfect, because you're in the same position anyway. Either way, you're not going to know. So just get in it.
Yeah, and it makes me think about having children, right? Like, if I waited until I had all the information, it's like, well, I need to know that my child is going to be this sex and this type of person, and he's going to be successful in life. And blah.
Nothing will ever hurt him.
You will never have children.
Ever. And birthing a child is the same as birthing an idea. You have no idea. It's completely out of your control what's going to happen.
Can you pause? Where's your mic?
Right here.
Oh, it's in there under? Okay, sorry.
Good
You
call,
got it, like,
though.
straight under. I was like, if it's
we're
off,
going down.
Yeah.
Good call. So it's birthing a child is just like birthing a business or birthing anything into the world. Is you've just got to trust that next step.
It's key theme here today.
Like literally trust next step.
Yep.
And then keep going. And then you'll figure it out along the way.
Yeah.
We always do, right?
Always
Even
do.
if it's messy.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I mean, my favorite quote, and I say it all the time because it's so good, is we must walk consciously only part way towards our goal. I know you've heard it 100 times. And we must leap into the darkness towards our success, right? And it's like, it's by Henry David Thoreau. I just love it. And it's like, the more that we can actually just trust that and support people to just take that leap, and knowing that it's not wrong that you don't know. It's not, you're not, like, stop waiting until you know more. Like, that's not, that day isn't going to come. It's like you only know more by, it's like a treasure hunt.
Like getting in
It's like the next clue.
Like,
imagine if we just approached life like that, like it was a game, like gamify life. Like, oh, where's my next clue coming? Like, where's that next little thing I'm going to do? And just lighten the load.
Yes.
Rather than just like, oh, what the fuck am I going to do next?
And this is something that I tell my clients all the time is just start.
Yes.
Not just do it, because what is it? We don't know. We have no fucking idea.
Sorry, Nike.
Just start.
Yeah.
Take one step.
Yeah.
Reach out to one person, send one email.
Create the momentum.
Create the momentum, because that's when the opportunities start to drop in.
Put yourself in the place for opportunity to come.
Get into the arena.
That's it. That is
into the arena. was there's always going to be opportunity and obstacle.
Yeah.
The two coexist always.
Always.
Are you looking at the obstacles or the opportunities?
And they could be the same thing, and you're just calling
I was going to say,
one.
the obstacles are the opportunity.
Right.
Because in my
This is
life,
big.
every obstacle I've ever faced has actually made me into the person that I had to be in order to get to the next step.
Yeah.
And it's like the universe just handed me it and said, hold on, you're not ready. Go through this, face it, and then you'll be ready for the next one.
Girl, you literally just described my experience right now.
This is huge. No, this is really big, because I'm really passionate about this as well, in terms of, again, it's coming back to the beginning when we're thinking about it's not the stresses, it's how you react to the stresses.
100%.
Because one person can see, oh, this person didn't reply to my email, this person didn't want to take a meeting, or this person didn't reply to me, or whatever. That's an obstacle, or that's a fail, or I'll stop. And the other person goes, all right, cool, email again. Or and then, like you say, it's an opportunity. An opportunity doesn't always look like an email landing in your inbox.
Someone knocking on your door, would you like $1 million?
Exactly. Like, here you go. Here's your career rolled out on
Everything
a
you put
carpet.
in your vision board.
Exactly. It's like, it doesn't look like that. So if we can train ourselves to again, so it's that internal condition to know, okay, resilience and like opportunity. Okay, cool. What do I need to do? Who do I need to speak to next? How do I need to pivot? That's the difference maker.
It is. And you know what? Science is actually proving this. They say that resilience is the #1 skill of all successful people studied over 40 years. Like literally people who had, because people always will have ups and downs.
Right.
And
That's
I think
the thing.
a lot of people think that successful people just have an upswing. And it's like, oh, they're just lucky.
Exactly.
Fucking way. I'm sitting in, well, I'm out of the other end now of like what many people would perceive as a failure. Like a big one. I haven't really publicly shared it yet, but it was something that I've been working really hard toward, and then it just got ripped away.
Wow.
It has been incredible.
Yeah.
Like when I got the email which kind of ripped it away, I laughed and cried at the same time. So I was just like, right, okay, I see this. And it's been the most humbling experience and really connected me back with my human and really dismantled my ego. And I can see so clearly now where I was becoming like almost too big for my boots. I was like, oh I'm going to have this and this and this. And it just took that one obstacle to be this opportunity for next level growth for me. And I feel so good about it.
Yeah.
I
know that knowing about it, like, I'm like, it's not even, I mean, I would look at it and it's so not even a failure. Like, it's like, oh, this is just going to be something. It's totally clearing the way
like
for
a
something
hiccup.
bigger.
Something bigger.
It's like a, this wasn't for you, there's something bigger coming.
And that's
for
the
sure.
phrase that keeps coming, and that's something we can remind ourselves of. If something doesn't go according to plan, something bigger. Something
If,
bigger.
you mean when, all the time.
When.
It's again
always,
and again and again, it doesn't go to plan.
Yes. Something bigger, something bigger, something bigger.
Well, and it's always going to plan. Like, it's not going
yes,
to our
yes,
plan.
yes.
But it's always going to
Yes.
the bigger plan that sometimes we are so disconnected from. And I get
That's
so
trust.
disconnected from it because it's
human.
like, I think, well, I'm a human and I can control this whole thing and let me just Virgo it and plan it out and make sure it happens. But the truth is there's a bigger plan always in play. And sometimes we can't see it. Sometimes we only see it, a lot of times. Sometimes we only see it in hindsight. Years down the road where we're like, got it.
It makes sense now. And do you know what it is? It's impatience.
Totally. I mean, I'm just thinking, coming to mind, I'm like, I was definitely supposed to win the green card lottery like a month ago. I'm like, I know I'm meant to be in America. That was definitely going to win the green card lottery. Like, why the fuck? And that's like, why did that? And that was like such an energy I used to live in. Like, why did that not happen? Why didn't that happen? You guys, that was supposed to happen. And like, so much time and energy is like lost in that space, you know. And it's like, of course, did I want to win it? Yeah, definitely. That would have been fucking awesome. And it's like, okay, clearly there's something else, and it feels like a way less convenient path. But it's like, there's obviously going to be something in there for me that's going to be the reason why I didn't. Definitely can't see it right now.
No,
but it's like
you're not supposed to.
But it's that trusting, because it's like, so we don't spend more unnecessary time in the resistance to what is.
Well, and I
Because
think
that's
this
the
is
painful
important.
part.
This is huge.
Yeah.
Like, and I know you do a lot of manifestation work, and we deal with a lot of people who do like manifestation and vision boards and all the things. And a lot of times they come and say, well, it's not happening. It's not happening. It's like, I think a key phrase that a lot of people miss is like, I'm intending to manifest this or something greater that I am unaware of yet. And that might have been the something greater that we are unaware of how it's greater, because right now you're like...
Still unaware, but trusting.
Really attached to me. But there is a greater plan at play, and we have to trust that you actually manifested that for whatever else you're manifesting.
Exactly. This is what it is. Sometimes our manifestations come to fruition and it feels like, oh, my intuition led me astray, or this led me astray. It's like, no, it led you right to the left lesson that you were supposed to learn.
Yep.
Like this morning on the beach when my intuition said, like, I was doing all my gratitudes for this amazing day and so happy, and then I was like, got in the water and I was like, really, life? Like, I was just thanking you, and then you're gonna pop my eardrum like that?
Yeah.
So that my intuition did say it probably wasn't the day to get in the water.
Listen to that, guys. Listen to that. But that's
it's big.
One of my favorite quotes, and I don't remember who said it, is life is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
Why are we rushing?
Yeah. And that's in today's world, we're used to getting everything so quick. I know, I mean, we're in Byron Bay right now, and Uber Eats is like, in my opinion, pathetic here.
Everything. When you're in LA, you can literally get anything you want at your door within an hour.
2 seconds.
Like,
and so I'm used to getting everything so fast. And before I lived in LA, I was in New York, so even faster.
Yeah.
And
it's like, an Uber is 3 minutes away. Cancel it.
Yeah, cancel.
It's got to be something.
But it's interesting to know that we live in this world where everything is convenient now.
Oh yeah.
And life fails to kind of fold to that desire, where it's like life isn't like, I'm not gonna be convenient. Like it's not gonna happen the way you want it to in your timeline. You're gonna have to wait on my timeline. Because life is up to a lot of things. Source is up to a lot of things, and we just have to be patient and be willing to ride it out. And it's interesting, you both brought up quotes, so I'm gonna bring up one of my favorite.
Do it, Grace.
Because this is so relevant.
Lay it on us.
Rumi said, if you are bothered by every rub, how will you ever be polished?
Oh.
And I love it because it's like,
amazing.
Like we're all asking to be polished. We're all asking to
get there.
Yeah, to get there, to have our greatest life, live my best life now. All the things we're asking for that.
Yeah.
Living my best life.
It's kind of our jam.
It's kind of our
Theme song. Yeah.
But if we're asking to be polished, we cannot be bothered by every rub.
So good.
And life is going to rub us. If we want to live our best life, get ready to be rubbed.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
I mean, I'm into it.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
What were you both saying yesterday? Live as if it already is.
Yeah, live as if you're already
there.
Live as if you're already there. So it's like living my best life right now.
Yeah. And it's like your journey. This is another quote, but I don't know who said it. I'm just going to
We're going to have a quote.
This entire combo is just quotes. We're so original, you guys.
Yeah.
Can we just take a second for our originality? No, it's the journey has to feel like the destination, and it's so like pedestrian, like stuff we hear all the time. But it's like how many of us are actually living that?
Yeah.
How many of us are actually feeling like most days you're arriving in your own life? That you're like, this feels like I'm living my life. I'm not getting through it. I'm not waiting. I'm not just when I get there in that place, I'll feel. It's like, no, you won't, because you have not trained anything about. You haven't. You haven't trained your nervous system. You haven't trained yourself to even cultivate what it would take to live in that manifestation, to actually experience it. That's why we're constantly pushing and then burning out, because it's like, oh, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I need more. And it's like, because you haven't trained yourself to friggin' be. Here I am.
You've got it all right now. This is what I teach in my program is, and it's one of the first weeks, it's what do you want to feel? Say you've got the dream business or the dream amount of money in your bank account or whatever the thing is externally. What will that give you in terms of how you're feeling? And then seek out those feelings now. Because we can do them, but we just outsource them. It's like, that will make me feel like this. And as women, we do it all the time. When I lose weight, I'll
that's a
feel
huge
when
one.
I get my partner, my dream partner.
My dream man, then I'll feel complete. No, you won't. Because you don't feel complete now.
Yeah, and we're like handing over our feelings to these objects or events or people that aren't responsible for them.
Expectation.
And then it puts pressure on them, and then
which creates a whole other thing.
that is a whole other conversation, right? So it's this
Yeah.
non-attachment and just being responsible for the feelings you want to feel and going out and doing those things.
And for anyone who's listening, it's really knowing, like, you might have heard this before, but ask yourself if you're really living it. Like, because this is that whole other thing of really actually embodying it. Because you can hear things, but if you're actually not putting them into play, and I heard them all. I heard them all, and I was like, that sounds great. And
I taught them all.
Exactly. Until
I continue to.
And then it was the burnout when I realized I wasn't even living there. And now I'm like, I feel like I'm truly living that now, even though I heard it all before. So it's like really checking in with, are we actually living in that?
Yeah, and a caveat to that, or like an asterisk, is that's going to require often that we've got to be willing to let go of some things.
Oh, definitely.
You know, and like I think for me that was the hardest thing, especially like having a child and recognizing, oh, like my life can't look the same because I've got this new being that I'm responsible for. What a gift, but now I've got to shift my identity. You know, and I think even in burnout, we recognize like, who I was wrapping up who I was in this like doer, superwoman. I can do the TED Talk and the thing and the blah, blah, blah. And what if I say no to those things now? Like, what does that mean about me?
Yeah.
I think that's
confronting.
scary.
Yeah, people aren't going to like me. That's been my biggest thing. It's like, oh, I'm edging into this story I would have told myself a year ago that, oh, I'm being a mean person or I'm being a bitch for having boundaries and saying no to the catch-ups or no to the lovely people.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, actually, I'm not being a bad person. I'm honoring myself.
Yes.
And I've never done that before. So it's this re-identification of self.
That's
and that's why you have to be around people that are role models for that too, you know, to remind you. And I know we spoke about this at the event. It's like, spend time with people that celebrate those things, you know, that like I've got friends where, you know, you'll say you can't do something and their reply will be like, perfect, like honor you, like whatever you need to do, look up to you. Like that's just like, right? And it's like, you know, you don't take advantage of it or whatever because but that's the reaction because everybody celebrates you looking after yourself rather than like, oh, I really counted on you and I really wanted you to be there. And obviously sometimes that's important because you've got to have integrity with your word and honor your commitments and things. But it's just, you know, being around those people that celebrate certain ways of being to help you reinforce that that's the way of being you want to be in as well is so important. Again, it's that environment. Like, what environment do we need to put around ourselves to live the life and create what it is we want to create? It's huge.
Yeah, it's massive. And I think what's kind of coming alive for me in that conversation is this idea that when you do take time for yourself, and I know I've gotten stuck in this trap, don't just go and distract yourself with other things that are not actually having you spend time with you, like scrolling Instagram or watching TV. Like, actually go and be with yourself. And I think a lot of people don't even know what that means.
Yeah, totally.
And it's maybe just going for a walk without your earphones, without an audiobook or a podcast on, and like listen to your body, listen to your thoughts, sit on the beach and watch the waves. Like, just go be with you, because I think that is where most of us are in a huge deficit in our lives, is that we're being with all the things. And even, you know, in our spiritual world, as I did this morning, you know, you put out a deck and you like address the cards and like, and that's great too, but make sure you have time to just be with you and listen to that inner guidance as well.
There's I went to a workshop with a client recently who does sort of, you know, mindfulness and wellness for corporate, but essentially what she was talking about, in order to actually properly rest and rejuvenate and essentially have that time where we're actually restoring our body, restoring our minds, restoring our energy, it has to actually hit, I think it's like 3, like it's physically rejuvenating, spiritually rejuvenating, and emotionally rejuvenating. So like going and lying on the couch and watching TV, you're not actually restoring. Laying on your phone, you're not, so you might think you're taking a rest and lying on the couch, but you're not restoring anything. So it has to have those elements. So it's like, you know, walking outside in nature silently. And so we have to be super conscious about what we're calling rest and restoring. And one, because you have to be, then it's like, why am I burning out? I'm having this afternoon off where I just am lying and watching TV all day. It's like, that's not helping anything.
Absolutely. It's interesting, this this conversation around like really being with yourself and your thought without distraction. So in 2 weeks, I'm heading into Vipassana.
I'm so excited for you.
I'm so excited. And I thought I would be terrified. 2 years ago, I would have been terrified. But my soul is so ready to just be like, take all my things, take them all. And I'm going to go inward. But what's interesting is the amount of people who are, I could never do that. I could never do that. And it's like, what kind of society are we in? We're sitting in space, in solitude, in silence, is so terrifying. So terrifying. What do you mean you don't have your phone? What do you mean you can't take a book? What do you mean you're not going to be speaking?
What are you going to do?
Right?
But that is the thing. It's like we are in a society that is so disconnected from self, and actually being willing to face off with self, I think, is the scariest thing. It's why we're so busy. Because it's like, let me just do more so I don't have to look at what I'm feeling. Let me just have more friends around so I don't actually have to be with my thoughts. Let me just create one more business or one more program so I don't actually even to sit in celebration of what I've created. You know, it doesn't always have to be like to sit in like the things that aren't working. But a lot of us even avoid celebrating. You know? It's
my favorite thing.
I'm getting better at it.
All about it. And Trent says it to me all the time, my husband. He's like, another reason for celebrating? I'm like, yes. But what I'm like, absolutely, let's go to dinner again. But it's about
had a really great day today. We should definitely
celebrate.
Yeah.
But it's like life is cause for celebration, right? And we wait for the big ticket things. And which is great. Absolutely celebrate those.
Yeah.
But also just celebrate having a fucking great day because you had a great day.
Yeah. And really allowing those moments to expand, because that supports you in cultivating that internal environment of like, oh, I'm there. You know, those moments, like even just walking on the beach this morning, I was doing that and it was just like, wow. And because 2 days ago I was like quite anxious, I was a little overwhelmed, I was in those feelings, because it's like these pass, like those come up too. It's like letting that energy be. But then it was like, and then today was great, and it was just like saying my gratitude and thank you. And I've learned to really, you know, when I pull a card and I really feel something, I like really sit in it. When I like, I'm really feeling grateful, like I'm just like expanding it, you know, instead of just taking it for granted. It's like, oh my God, it feels so good. Like, how can I expand this? Because those are the moments that remind me, anyway, that I'm like, I'm fucking there. Like, this is it. This is it.
This
you
is
know?
why.
We have to make those moments and actually like, just expand them as much as possible.
And life is the little moments. You know, I think we forget that we think it's these big celebratory, I made it to the top of the mountain, yes, I'm living life. And it's like, life is actually doing the dishes and walking to your mailbox and taking the trash out and sitting and having breakfast with your family or your friends, or that's life. Life is all of the little moments that we are just trying to get through to get to the next thing that we think is the moment, but it's all the moments. We have to really start appreciating it.
It's the things like music and movement and the ocean and those like we take for granted, right? Because we do them all the time. So it's just like, all right, what's the next sparkly shiny object? It's like, no, let's just sit in the juiciness of, and I know that when I come out of Vipassana where you can't have music and you can't practice yoga or read, those little moments are going to, I just can't wait to see life
how rich
through
it'll
that
be.
lens.
That's so powerful. Wow, well, this has been such a great combo.
Great combo. Yes, we went places.
Great chat, girls. We
Great
should do
chat.
this again.
We definitely should. Yes. No, I love
I'll come
it.
to the States.
Do it. Yes.
Done.
Amazing.